When leaders announce strikes that kill a supreme leader, the world expects immediate fire. But silence has fallen over Tehran instead of missiles. This isn't fear or weakness. It is a calculated strategic timeout designed to force American de-escalation while preserving the regime's survival. The lack of an all-out war is the retaliation strategy. Today we read this move not as a morality play, but as high-stakes bargaining where states choose survival over honor-driven suicide. The immediate reaction from many observers is confusion. How can a state that has just lost its highest leader and suffered massive strikes on its command structure simply stop? The expectation is for an apocalypse of missiles in response to the death of Khamenei, yet Tehran's military command remains quiet regarding direct kinetic retaliation against U.S. bases. This silence is not accidental. It is the result of a binary choice facing the Iranian leadership: total regime destruction or survival through asymmetric coercion. If Iran were to retaliate immediately with unrestrained force, such as mining the Strait of Hormuz right away, they risk triggering a full-scale invasion and collapse similar to Iraq in 2003. The strategic reality is that an immediate war guarantees their own end because they cannot sustain a conventional exchange against over 1,000 daily sorties by U.S. and Israeli air forces. This leads us to the core of the trap. A direct military response would be a victory for those who want regime change, not for Tehran's survival instincts. The leadership understands that inaction on the surface can be more dangerous than action if it invites total annihilation, but strategic patience offers a different path. By delaying their conventional reply and pivoting to asymmetric pressure, they force the United States into a position where de-escalation becomes the only rational option for Washington. This is not about losing face. It is about saving the state apparatus from being erased by superior firepower. The regime knows that if they trigger an all-out war now, there will be no bargaining chip left to trade later. Quick resource note: I keep a curated set of Amazon search links in the description for books, gear, and tools relevant to this channel's topics. Some are affiliate links, so I may earn a commission at no extra cost to you. Please consider supporting the channel by using those links if you find something useful. Instead of firing missiles at U.S. bases immediately, Tehran utilizes a different toolkit: cyber operations and proxy warfare. This mechanism serves as a strategic timeout, buying the necessary time for internal succession planning while simultaneously inflicting economic pain on regional allies like Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates. The goal is to force these Gulf monarchies into acting as a de-escalation lobby with Washington. By threatening global trade through the Strait of Hormuz, which handles 1/5 of all global oil trade, Iran creates a crisis that makes war too expensive for everyone else involved. This allows Tehran to claim victory through disruption without inviting total annihilation from an enemy they cannot defeat in open combat. Historically, we have seen this pattern before. During the period between 2012 and 2014 known as Operation Ababil, Iran targeted U.S. financial institutions, Saudi Aramco, and even major commercial entities like the Las Vegas Sands Corporation with cyber attacks rather than conventional bombs. This historical precedent shows that low-cost, high-signal tools are often more effective for a state trying to survive than costly direct military exchanges. Data from similar conflicts suggests we can expect a surge in cyber aggression targeting critical infrastructure within days of such kinetic strikes. In fact, following Israeli military actions on Iran in 2025, reports indicated a 70% increase in cyber attacks targeting Israel alone within just 2 days. This substitution allows Tehran to strike back hard without revealing their own vulnerabilities or inviting the full weight of American air power down upon them again. The real battlefield has shifted from kinetic exchanges between missiles and air defenses to economic warfare and digital disruption. When you see no immediate barrage, do not interpret it as a lack of resolve. Interpret it as a strategic calculation where the regime is choosing survival over honor-driven suicide. The retaliation you are waiting for might be a cyber attack on your bank or oil markets rather than an explosion in Tehran's streets. By striking civilian infrastructure in Arab states and threatening to close vital energy choke points, Iran forces Gulf allies to pressure Washington for a ceasefire. This effectively ends U.S. ambitions of regime change without Tehran having to surrender unconditionally. This strategy transforms the conflict from a simple tit-for-tat missile launch cycle into a complex diplomatic maneuver where regional stability is held hostage by the threat of economic collapse. The timeout is not a pause in hostilities, but a calculated pivot back toward proxy warfare and economic disruption designed to preserve the state's core interests while signaling that further escalation will carry an unacceptable cost for everyone involved. By threatening global oil prices, Iran forces Gulf allies to pressure Washington for de-escalation rather than seeking total war. The death of Khamenei triggers an existential crisis, but the strategic logic dictates avoiding direct confrontation in favor of asymmetric coercion and diplomatic maneuvering. The stakes are incredibly high because this dynamic explains why the United States can strike deep into Iran without triggering World War III immediately. It also signals that the next 48 hours will see intense diplomatic maneuvering by Arab allies trying to contain a crisis they helped create, rather than an endless cycle of tit-for-tat missile launches. Understanding this dynamic reveals that when leaders announce sanctions or strikes, the headline is rarely the whole story. The question is who designed the incentive, who cannot afford to walk away, and what option still looks rational on each side. Thanks for watching all the way to the end. I'm a one-person team working hard to make each video better than the last. Subscribe if you found value. It is the best way to show support. Drop a comment with your biggest takeaway. See you in the next video.